I'm Wolfgang, and as you can see, this is my page, the user page on semantic.mediawiki.org. I'd like to point out that it is useful if you have such a page, if you participate here. And in the source of such a page, when you have this attendee template, you can enter all the events that you have taken part in. So ModCon Fall 2025 would be this one. And that has two effects. It will show up on your page, so you will see here all the ways, and then you show up in the list of attendees, and it's a bit short this time. It's only 8, so only 8 people did this so far. I'd love to see more. If you have such a page and you did do talks here, the talks will automatically show up in your page. So in my case, you can see all the talks I did in the past, and I'm referring to 2 other talks I held in the past. This is the Wiki AI Playgrounds talk. It's got a page this morning, and then you can link to the slides. Just click see here, and you should end up here. And then we can go to the slideshow mode. And actually, it's only like 3 slides, and I'm only presenting an idea. Of course, we have to have the usual stuff. Here's your cat, here's me, here's my company, here's the customer I'm working for, but this is the idea I want to present. So the idea I want to present is we got the MCP server shown by Jerome, and when you do that, I think some people will be afraid of, okay, if I do this, I might end up with the artificial intelligence doing something to my wiki which I don't want. Can I not make that process safer? So I was thinking, why not have a workflow that uses some technology that I've been using in our association recently, because I suggested, hey, let's have playgrounds. And I'm suggesting to combine the playground idea with that AI idea. So you pick a playground, you pick a source media wiki and say, this is a wiki I want to do something with. You pick a playground, you select pages, for instance, a whole category and say, or a few of the pages of a category and say, this is what I want to work with. And then you push the pages to your playground. This is something I showed like 5 years ago. And then you apply the prompts with the MCP server as shown by Jerome. And then you preview your changes and say, I'm happy with it or not. And this is the important point. If now things got berserk, nobody cares. It's just in your playground. So you can approve the changes and say, I'm happy with it. And then you push the changes back. So let's look at the components you would need for that. First of all, you need a playground. So how do you set up a playground? I did that for the association I'm working for. Here we got like 44 wikis, and they're all named after, I don't know, deities. Obviously, the query down here will not make historians happy. They'll say this is not correct. And I had to learn that, but it's still fun. Like the idea was have a Wikidata query that brings you some icons and some names, and it should be like fit on one page, and so it did. So that works. So Zeus is the one, some of these are open already, others are closed. And you can decide that when you own your playground, you can say, I want to work publicly, or I don't want to work publicly. It's one of the decisions you make. This is unfortunately a bit in German, but I think the stuff that is interesting for you is understandable anyways. So you got the Greek gods list here and the Sparkle query, which is wrong. And then you've got the wiki push starting. And then what we did here, we pushed some of the pages of the SMW to our Zeus. So, and all of a sudden, you will hate it and say, hey, this is not looking correctly anymore. Well, we're focusing on something. All we want is having the Wikidata item correctly. So basically, the whole show is about, let's see whether our pages are correctly linked to Wikidata. And if I'm only interested in that, I'll be happy. The red links I'm not interested in. I just want to know, okay, some of my demo pages don't have Wikidata IDs. That's bad. So I could say, please add the Wikidata IDs to the artificial intelligence, and it would do that, and then I can do my wiki push statements. So I'll show you one way to do a wiki push. So this pushes from SMW to Zeus, so now we've got the page Germany in there. And basically we have to let our artificial intelligence do that for us, because if you want, for instance, all this transitivity, you have to do a lot of pushes. Let's go back to the other components. So you need the MCP server that was shown by Jerome. You need some kind of automatic setup of your wikis. So I'm proposing MediaWiki Docker, but there's also Canasta out there and other ways how to do that. It's a known technology and it is automatable. In the case that I'm showing you here, it's a pretty quick way to do it. So here you've got the installation script. You can do it just like that here. See, declare your gods, declare something else, what do you do? Clean your Docker. And basically here, we only need two calls to get this all running. One is the checking of the wiki. In my case, that's MediaWiki cluster, so that checks the wiki. Is it correct? Does it have all the extensions installed? And this would be like the command that gives you a new wiki. And then we set up the port like count on, and it depends on the size of your server. This one has 16 gigabyte of RAM, so it depends how many wikis you can run. 44 wikis on that, so it was not a problem. See, it's just a few lines of code. I'm sharing that with you. And then you need the wiki push toolkit or something similar to automate the back and forth. And Jaron would happily do that in his own PHP code. He used to have a push extension, so that's also known technology. So we should be all set. The question is, what do you think? Should we do this? Is that a useful way to approach this? And we could start a project on that.